I'm really under pressure today, making these videos for my students to grasp the absolute wonderful knowledge of HVACR. Pressure, no pressure, it's okay, I can deal with it, no pressure. Okay, pressure, so what am I saying? Force per unit area. Don't get screwy with me, it's force per unit area. That's it, that's all, nothing more. People get all weirded about pressure. Pressure, force per unit area. I'm pushing on the table here. Very simple, the term force, okay, force per unit area. So let's break it down. Force is a pressure, usually measured by weight, like a pound, exerted on a measured surface, by the way, like a square inch. And at the end of the day, you have PSI, pounds per square inch. Pressure is not that big of a deal. I mean, people try to make it really complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. A force upon a measured surface area. Not volume, area. Okay. HVACR is loaded with pressures with different scales and applied to different situations on the job. And boy howdy, I can tell you it really is. Every time you turn around, you have another kind of pressure, type of pressure, reason to measure pressure. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So pressure is a big deal in HVACR. As an HVACR tech, you will need to know these scales, what they represent, and how to measure with them. We aren't going to take that to the extreme in this session. This is more just an introduction to pressure. But here's a good graphic right here. And it's also sort of an interesting thing to know, especially if you're a wet head. If you don't know what a wet head is somebody that works with a lot of water systems like boilers and chillers and so on and so forth. Those are called wet heads in our business. But here's a great example. Here's 1 square inch right here, and I'll have a column of water, okay, at 27 3/4 inches column of water in a 1 square inch surface is 1 PSI. That generates 1 pound per square inch. But I need a column of water 27 3/4 inches high to create that 1 PSI pressure. Common HVACR pressure measurement scales, and there's, like I said, there's a bunch of them. Atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure has a lot to do with, and I think I'm sort of previewing one of my other slides here, but atmospheric pressure, why do you need to know that? Atmospheric pressure has a lot to do with combustion. And when we get into a combustion class, you'll understand what's going on with that. Inches of mercury. Inches of mercury is more of an atmosphere weather kind of a thing. If you're looking at the Weather Channel or your local weather report, they always say, the pressure today is 28.3 whatever inches of mercury. That's more of a weather meteorological measurement, inches of mercury, but we use it too. We use it too for different things. Inches of mercury vac, HVAC, that's a big deal related to servicing refrigeration equipment. There's a lot of vacuum stuff that we do to clean out systems and so on. PSI, pounds per square inch. I think you probably get that one. And then there's PSIG, pounds per square inch gauge. Well, PSI and pounds per square inch gauge are essentially sort of the same thing. PSIA, pounds per square inch absolute. Now that sort of gets people's heads turned upside down and inside out, but I think we'll deal with it. You'll be okay with it. Inches of water column. Inches of water column, when you get into those measurements, usually you're working on an air system, determining how much air pressure you have in a duct system, for example, those kind of things. And inches of water column starts to get down to a really, really fine point, fine measurement. Micron. A micron. 1 micron is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. So if you take a yardstick, add 3 inches to it, because a meter is 39 inches long, and then slice that thing into a million pieces, you can just imagine how much a micron is. It's a very, very tiny measurement. Then we get into pascals. Oh, a kilopascal is 1,000 pascals. Go figure, kilo is 1,000 pascal. That's a metric measurement. We'll elaborate on that some later on. But pascals is a pressure measurement generally used in home performance type work with infiltration, air infiltration, or those kind of things. And then, of course, Pascal itself is 1 Pascal. And further on in this presentation, you'll see a chart. We got a chart that shows you the equivalent measurements compared to each other.